Yo, this is Haas Funk, the Trunk Master, with the first edition of Deep Cutz, where I present a dope, non-single track from a hip-hop album that's otherwise known for its banging singles. Let's go. Alright, for this first episode, I've chosen a song from an album that I didn't really get into until more recently, although the album came out more than 30 years ago. That album is 1993 from, of course, Naughty by Nature. Alright, before I get into it, I want to give you a little background on my history of being a hip-hop connoisseur. So, I got into hip-hop in the late 80s when I was still in elementary school. This was during what many people call the golden era of hip-hop, and at that time, the main formats for music was records and cassettes. This was way before the internet. So, as a young hip-hop fan, I would try to buy albums on cassette when I had enough money, or I would ask for them as presents for Christmas or my birthday. But I didn't have enough money to buy everything that came out, so I would only try to get albums that I really wanted. The music that really appealed to me was what was considered underground hip-hop at that time, which was now the early 90s. And I often got tired of hearing the more commercial rap that got played on the radio and TV all day, every day. Even if those groups were actually dope, I still didn't feel I needed to buy the albums, as I figured I could just hear it or borrow it from a friend if I needed to. And so I focused on only buying the albums that weren't as popular. Needless to say, I missed out on a lot of albums from that time period, and I'm only now starting to catch up on and get acquainted with. These days I regularly browse the racks at used CD and record shops, and often come home with albums from the past that I never heard outside of the singles, such as this one. Alright, so with that said, the song that I want to highlight and give props and respect to, or should I say juice to, is The Only Ones from Naughty by Nature's 1993 album. Now, this album is filled with bangers that I sadly didn't get to enjoy for the first 30 years of its existence. And the big single from this album was, of course, Hip Hop Hooray, which became an anthem played at sporting events and stadiums all over the world. Huge song, and I actually like the song, but like I said, I got tired of hearing hit songs everywhere and wanted to focus on the lesser known ones. Then came their next single, It's On, which I really liked, with its jazzy horns and ill Charlie Brown sample. And I was a huge LONS and Tribe fan, so I really liked that sample. The rapping on that track is what caught my ear too, as the lead rapper Tretch really showed his unique flair for stuttering raps and oral acrobatics. Such a sick flow. And Vin Rock really complimented him well. So, those were the singles, but this show is all about album cuts that didn't get much shine, but would be in my top picks of songs on the album. So, when I got this album, a few songs really stood out to me, including the lead-off title track, and another track called Hot Potato featuring Freddie Fox. But it was The Only Ones that really caught my ear, and I'll tell you why. But first of all, many Naughty by Nature tracks up until that point had a signature sound that included keyboard or piano keys with a dope and catchy pattern. And The Only Ones is no exception. You know it's a dope track if your head is bobbing, no, banging on the first listen. So the track starts off with those signature keys and beeps with an up-tempo drum beat, and gets right into a sort of sub-hook or bridge or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's the main hook because that one has the song title in it. And then Tretch starts off his verse with his signature ill flow and proceeds to just rip the mic to shreds with 3 fiery verses. What I like about his verses is that his lyrics are about injustices, such as getting raided by cops who think they are drug dealers, but then he lets them know, as the aforementioned bridge says, they don't have any connection to the drug game. He goes on to chop down those cops and other chumps and delivers line after line of multis with amazing lyrical dexterity. Now, the only thing I'm not big on in this song is the hook, We're the Only Ones, which is said a few times over top a kind of G-funk synth sound. But other than that, this song is a banger and definitely warrants a closer listen if you've overlooked or skipped it in the past. Click the link in the description. I've actually been listening to this song on repeat a lot recently, which is not something I do often, so that means something. So big up to Naughty by Nature, big up to KG and Sid Reynolds for the ill production, and thank you for making amazing, timeless music that I can enjoy decades later. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for watching. Please subscribe and look out for another episode of Deep Cutz. Peace.